Hey guys, so it is Chandra. I'm back with another recap of HBO's Insecure. Oh my goodness. So this episode was not as litty. Can I say litty? Is that just for the young people? This episode was not as funny as last week's, but it was still a good episode. So of course I got my notes here. So let's get right into it. Before I get into the review, of course, I've got to remind you to go to my website, www.curvygems.com. Take a look around, see if there are any affordable fashion pieces of jewelry that you want to add to your jewelry box. Everything that I am wearing, I'm feeling really gold today. Everything I'm wearing came from my website, www.curvygems.com. So that was my plug, okay? My dog is under the table shaking the camera. Don't shake the table, y'all. All right, let's get into it. So this episode is called Ready Like. All right? So we start the episode off right where we left off. Let me stop spinning in this chair. Oh, that's another thing. I changed my setup up. Let me sit still and not spin around like a little kid. So we start this episode right where we left off last week with Lawrence and Issa in the 7-Eleven. I think it was the 7-Eleven. Anyway, they're in the convenience store and she says to him, "What have you been up to?" And then we see this montage of Lawrence just getting it in everywhere around LA. Lawrence, I try to keep my content PG, but I have to say it. I gotta say it. Lawrence, you are a fuckboy. Lawrence, I can't. Now, for as fine as Lawrence is, because he is a tall, milk chocolatey drink of water, he's easy on the eyes. I can see why he is spreading his diseased peen around the city, okay? But Lawrence, I can't with you. Like, it's like him and Issa were in this long-term relationship. They broke up, and he decided, I'm just going to go be Papa was a Rolling Stone. Oh, out here just spreading myself around. Oh, Bobby Brown, my prerogative. Like, come on now, Lawrence. Anyway, Issa says to him, "What have you been up to?" And he goes, "Oh, nothing, just working." Right? So then we pan to Issa. She's at the permit office because she wants to start throwing these block parties in her neighborhood. That's how she wants to give back to her community. So she's in there and she's talking to the city worker about getting these permits. She comes out, she feels defeated because the lady told her, "You got to do this, 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 and that, and that, and that, and this." And so she comes out and Nathan is out there waiting for her. He came to be her support system. So she says to Nathan, "I don't think I'll be able to do this." And Issa is very whiny. So I don't know if she's being whiny just because she wants attention from Nathan or what, or she's just being herself. So Nathan, of course, is her knight in shining armor. And he says to her, he reassures her just like he always does, "You're great. This is going to be good." She's like, "I hope you're right." So then we go to Molly, who's at work, still trying to be an overachiever. She's hating on her assistant's relationship. Molly is just not happy that she's not where she wants to be in life. Like, she wants to be in this established relationship. She wants to be the superstar at work. She probably wants to have her 2.5 kids and a picket fence right now, but she doesn't have those things. And so I feel like she feels like she's missing something. Can't say that I don't understand where Molly is. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. So Nathan and Issa later on are booed up. They are having this moment, laying in bed. Looks like it's the middle of the day. And they are cuddling and canoodling. And Nathan asks Issa, "How do you know when it's real?" And because Issa is always so in her head, so having various thoughts about stuff, she's always all over the place. when he says that, she's like, oh no, because you look on the Yelp review. So Issa-like, so characteristic of Issa. So Nathan is trying to have this moment with Issa, and she's acting none the wiser. And so I feel like when he said to her, I really like you, I think it made her uncomfortable. And I think it made her have to respond to him to say, oh, I really like you too. Where I think she does like Nathan, but Nathan is a rebound for her, much like Daniel was. She's not into Nathan the way he portrays to be into her. We're going to get back to that too. So he says, I really like you, and I don't always like people. And when he said that, I felt that in my spirit. I felt that in my soul. And I felt it because when you are navigating a new relationship and you've been jaded before, or you've been in situations that have not been as favorable, you've had your feelings hurt, you've been messed over in a relationship, you are very guarded and cautious with your feelings and your emotions and how you move with people. And so when he said, I don't always like people, oh my God, I felt him, because when you have been in those situations that I just described, and then you finally get to a place where you're like, okay, I'm going to let my guard down. Like, you just don't want to be hurt. You don't want to be hurt. And sometimes you don't want to be the one to hurt someone else. So it's like a sticky situation. So I really felt him when he said, I don't always like people. And Nathan, it seems like a complex character. We don't know a lot about his background. We do know that he told Issa that he was, had moved here after the floods in Houston. But we don't know a lot about him. He's mysterious. He comes and goes. He's in and out, as we saw later in this episode. So, he's gazing into her eyes. And I thought it was such a beautiful moment. And then I feel like out of obligation, she said to him, oh, I like you too. No, she said, I know how you feel because people are trash, but, I like you too. So they both are very complicated people when it comes to relationships. So she, I don't know. I don't know if she's still feeling Daniel, she's still feeling Lawrence, which we'll talk about later on. We're going to talk about a lot later on. All right. So now we go back to Lawrence and his busybody self. So Lawrence is on the phone, making the phone calls. He's making the phone calls from, there's a clinic, or there used to be a clinic here in Baltimore called 1515. Back in the 90s, I don't know if it still existed, but people would say if you went to 1515, that was like the burning clinic. So people would go there to get treated for STDs at 1515. So Lawrence is having his 1515 moment. He's calling everybody on his list like, oh, I just got to let you know I got a little bit of chlamydia. A little bit of chlamydia here. A little bit of chlamydia. Lawrence, you are too old for that. I said this on last week's episode, how Issa and Nathan were having their Mile High Club moment, and I didn't see any condom usage. Like, y'all are way too old to just be out here banging booties and bodies with no protection. It's not cool. It's not cool. Things you can get that you can't get rid of, far worse than a kid. I'm just saying. Lawrence is out here spreading the chlamydia around. He's calling people he didn't even sleep with, and the girl's like, we didn't even sleep together. Get yourself together. Lawrence, you got to get it together. He's got to get it together. So we see Issa at her apartment, and she's rinsing urine off the sidewalk, and she says to one of her, every tenant that lives in her building is crazy. Like, she inherited the most crazy people that she has to manage in this building. So she says to the guy, can you stop letting your dog pee on the sidewalk? And he's like, I ain't got no dog. Sir, come on. So you really just been outside peeing on the sidewalk? You are trash. That's trash. So Lyft calls Issa and they say, hey, there was a report that there was an incident, an assault in one of your vehicles. So y'all remember back to episode 1 where we met Nathan, where I told y'all we would see him later on in the season. I knew him and Issa would be connected. So Nathan beat that guy up in Issa's cab, and remember he ran off. I mean, not her cab, her Lyft, and then he ran off. So Lyft is calling like someone reported there was an incident in your car. So she sends him a text and is like, hey, Lyft is reaching out. They want to get a statement from you. So she leaves it at that. So then back at Molly's job, Andrew, Nathan's friend, brings her jacket. The jacket that she left or she thought she lost at Coachella. So he brings her the jacket, and he's a nice looking Asian. He looks like he's mixed with another race, but he's a nice looking man, very tall, very handsome. And he comes and he brings her the jacket, and he's like, hey, it's nice to see you again. Have you ever been to such and such spot? Let's go out for drinks. And she's like, I'm really busy. She like blows him off. She's like, I'm busy. I don't have time for drinks. And he's like, okay. So next we see Kelli, Molly, and Issa. I think they're at Issa's house. There was a lot of furniture there though, and I don't remember Issa having furniture. So I don't know if they are at Kelly's or Issa's. Anyway, they are there making a diaper cake for Tiffany's baby shower, which is the next day. So they're making making the diaper cake, and they're having girl talk. And Issa's like, why don't you go out with Andrew? And Molly is like, no. And Issa said, why? Is it because he's not black? And she's like, no, I've dated outside my race before, but I'm just not into him like that. We know why. Because she still has this thing for Dro. Dro is somebody else's husband, Molly. Yeah, that's a sticky situation. So Molly, she doesn't want to go out and date because I feel like she thinks she's going to be disloyal to this relationship that she has in her head with Dro. Dro is only in it for the physical. Dro is only in it because he can have his cake, her, and his wife too. Dro is another fuckboy. Sorry. Kelli is there talking trash like she always does, and she asks, which one is Andrew? Is he the black one or the Asian one? So they're like, he's the Asian one. She's like, oh, because I've been sleeping with the black one, Kelli. Kelli is always doing the most, but I don't expect anything less from her. So then I think she asked who Nathan was, because Issa started talking about texting Nathan. And so Kelli said, oh, the other black one. And Issa is like, Kelli, you are not sleeping with my man. So Molly is like, oh, he your man now? That's your man? So she's like, oh, did I say he was my man? Yeah, well, we're getting close. I really like him. I'm so over Lawrence. I really like him. So Molly is like, oh, okay, sis. So, Issa begins to tell them about her business venture, and they laugh at her. They do Issa wrong. Like, they already know that Issa, she's not quite the 9-to-5 type of girl. I see her wanting to be out doing something really quirky, something that she's really passionate about. But her friends are like, girl, the name for your business is childish. That's what they basically said. So next we see Lawrence and light-skinned Chad. Chad is such a light-skinned dude. No diss to light-skinned dudes out there. My son is going to be one of those light-skinned dudes. But he's a typical light-skinned dude. If you've ever dated or dealt with one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Very arrogant, very pompous, very into himself is Mr. Chad. So they're at the bar, and Lawrence is all, woe is me. And that's when one of my questions from my video last week was answered. So they are in their early 30s. So Lawrence says, I'm 32. I'm tired of thotting and bopping out in these streets. Like, Lawrence, you don't have to be like that, though. Like, I don't know. I guess that's how men are. I guess that's how people are when they are unattached and younger in life. I would like to believe that as we age and mature, that we are not as irresponsible. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we mature as we get older, or is it just dependent upon our personalities? I don't know. I'd like to think that I'm different than when I was 32 versus now 43. I know that I've grown a lot. I've grown a lot in the last couple of years. So for Lawrence to say I'm 32, I don't want to be out here doing this, then change, Lawrence. You ain't got to be out there giving the chlamydia out. So, Lawrence, then who is it? Tiffany's husband comes and they begin to talk about Issa, and they ask him, would you take her back? And he's like, no, I don't think so. I'll always look at her as a cheater. And I think not Derek, but Chad called her a hoe. He was like, she's not a hoe, she just did hoe things. So you could tell that he still has a soft spot for Issa. I don't know how long they were together, but just remembering back to season 1, it seems like they have been together for a significant amount of time. So I think he still has feelings for Issa, because it wasn't his decision for them to break up. They broke up because she cheated, or because he found out that she cheated. So there's still something there. I really don't want to see them get back together, but I don't know. We got to watch these last. We only got 2 more episodes of this, y'all. 2 more, and then that's it. Why is this show only 30 minutes and they only give us 8? So the next day is Tiffany's baby shower, and it is so Tiffany, very foo-foo shishi. But then she has all these paintings of her as different famous pregnant people. She had Cardi, Beyonce, Serena Williams, and then there was this other one where she was just like a goddess pregnant Tiffany. Very Tiffany-like. So the baby shower is very upscale, finger foods, little cupcakes, gold and pretty balloons everywhere. It's gorgeous. So Issa and Molly get there and they say to Kelli, they thought they were going to help her prepare for the shower. They should have known bougie little Miss Tiffany had everything planned out to the T. So they get there and they're like, oh, so Tiffany has new friends, mommy friends, that Issa and Molly don't know. They don't have anything in common with them. So they're looking around like, oh, okay, this is different. We thought we were going to help her. So the gang's all there. Lawrence is there. Dro is there looking lanky and crazy as ever. Why did he have that part? Dro, sit down. Dro is there. Of course, Molly, Issa's brother is there. And Kelli, I think Kelli has not arrived yet. So Issa is wondering why she can't find Nathan. Like, she's apparently been trying to text him and call him. He's not been responsive. So she tries him again. Her and Molly talk about it. Molly tries to call him on her phone. Still no answer. So Nathan, where are you, Mr. Cuddle Dud? Mr. I'm feeling you. Mr. I like you. I want to gaze in your eyes. Where are you? Where is Nathan? So Issa sees Lawrence out the corner of her eye. He's standing off to the side. And so she decides to go over and talk to him. And so they have this great exchange. They're laughing, they're joking. She's telling him about her plans to have this block party business or party planning business. And he's like, oh, you got a business plan? Because that's what he kept telling her when, I think it was season 1, where he was just being a potato on the couch, a couch potato, just hanging out all day. And she was going to work, and he was like, oh, I don't want to work at this place because I'm working on my business plan. I can relate. Just this week, I was like, I want to quit this job because I want to work on my business plans. But I got bills to pay. So they have a great conversation. And they kind of have a full circle moment. She catches him up. He catches her up. They're laughing, joking, and Molly is in the corner watching their exchange. So she's watching them, and she has the stars in her eyes, and she sees Dro, and she's like, I'm going to go ahead and swoop in. We haven't talked to each other since they had that falling out. And she goes up to him, but she does not get the warm welcome that she thinks she's going to get. And so he's like, so you want to talk to me now? And she was like, really, Dro? That's what we're going to do? He was like, that's exactly how it is. And she storms off. And Dro is being a baby. Like, sir, you are mad because somebody called you out on your BS. She called you out on wanting to take advantage of the situation, take advantage of her friendship. You are not being very honest. You want to have this relationship. You cannot be in a relationship with Molly because you are married. You cannot fully commit to Molly and your marriage. It's not fair, Dro. Get yourself together. Oh, I hate that she got herself into that situation because where initially, I don't know what she thought was going to happen. Did she think he was going to leave Candace? Did she think they were just going to sleep together a couple times and it wasn't going to be emotional attachment? I don't know, Molly girl, what you was thinking. Girl. Alrighty. So Kelli comes in like the storm that she is, and she's like, I've got these homemade cupcakes that I've made. Where should I put them? And Tiffany and her bougie party planners quickly tell her, over there, we don't want them here. They do not go with our theme. Kelli is like, I made these from scratch. What you mean? Put the cupcakes out. So her and Kelli get into this thing where she says, she storms out and she says, and Issa and Molly go running after her. And she says to them, I'm losing my best friend to a baby. How absurd is that? I know exactly how she feels. I know exactly how she feels. And it's so selfish. Oh, it's so selfish. And I hope that one of my best friends, I don't know if she's going to watch this video or not, but I understand how she feels. So one of my good friends who I traveled with, who we have, you know, we both had kids who were around the same age, and now those kids are older. And so I felt like, yes, this is my travel buddy, but she decided to start another family, a second family. She decided to start over. So now she has little people. And so the times that we could go to the bar and have a cocktail after work or plan a girlfriend getaway, we can't do that anymore. And I understand why she decided. That was a choice that she made for her and her family, which is wonderful. But then I cannot lie and say, I didn't think about, dag, I lost my travel buddy. Dag. That was the selfish part of me. So while I didn't have the meltdown like Kelli did, I can definitely relate. And on the flip side of that, I can relate where when I had my daughter, when I was 18, I decided to have a baby. None of my other friends had a baby at that time in life. Like, my friends had their babies when we were in our late 20s, early 30s. But I decided to have a baby at 18. And I distinctly remember being at a store in the mall when my daughter was about 1 year old, and I was out with my friends that day, and I had such a great time. But then when it was time to leave, like, they were making plans to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm like, well, I can't do that because I got to get back home to the baby. And they were like, okay, girl, well, it was real. And I remember having this conversation with one of my friends at that time, like, I feel like you guys don't even need me anymore. Like, y'all don't invite me to stuff. Y'all don't ask me to go out anymore. And they were like, it's not that we don't want you to come. It's just that your life is different. You have a baby now. So I understand both ends of the spectrum. I think Kelli was being a little extra. That's how Kelli is. But I can understand exactly how she felt that her best friend is having a baby. Kelly's not having a baby. So now Tiffany has a different lifestyle. She has friends who share those same interests of being a mom. Kelly has no plans on being a mom. Like me, girl, I have no plans on raising no another set of children. So I love, love, love kids. I love my girlfriend's babies, love them. But that's just not my mission in life. But I understand that, people make those personal decisions to expand their family at different times in life. So back to the story. back to the show. Look, this is my own drama-filled life. So Kelly, she stays for a little bit longer at the shower, but then she leaves because I think she just feels out of place. And I hope that her and Tiffany get to have a resolution. I hope that these last 2 episodes of the season, she will be able to share in the happiness of her friend having this new life. Because that is important. It's important for us to still be there for our friends. So, but we know how this crew gets down. They can be pretty darn selfish, right? So later on, Issa and Tiffany are at, hold on. Let me get back to my notes. Look, I went off on a tangent on my own life. Girl, I could write a book, okay? Let me get back to my notes. Oh, so Molly and Issa are in the kitchen talking. And Issa says, I finally think I'm over Lawrence. I don't think that's the truth. I think that's half the truth. But she says that she is finally over Lawrence. And in walks pretty little Miss Candace, a.k.a. Gabrielle Dennis, who did such a phenomenal job playing Miss Whitney Houston. I got to give her props for that. She embodied Whitney. Anyway, on this show, she's Candace, a.k.a. Dro's wife. So it's always very uncomfortable when Molly and Candace are in the same space. Why? Because Molly is having sex with your husband, miss. That would be a little bit uncomfortable, okay? So, Candace comes in and she says to Molly, you two are having a moment. No, the moment is you, Candace. You are the moment. So she says, I'm going to go over here and talk to Tiffany. So Candace leaves. So later on, Molly and Issa are in the kitchen just tidying up a little bit. So Tiffany bebops in and she's like, how come, did Candace tell you her and Dro are expecting? Girl, that's it. Molly, that's it. That's it. If this don't tell you that you and Dro and this little thing that you think y'all got going on, it's a no. Molly, it is a no. So I think Molly finally is like, she is really like, she's having a Jill Scott moment. Like that song Jill sings, my love is sweeter, tighter. Didn't you know this? There's a line in there where she says at the beginning, like I know you were dating people. I know I was dating people, but I didn't know y'all were that serious. That's how Molly looked like. I know that I was sleeping with you, and I know you was sleeping with her, but I know you was going to get her pregnant. The plot thickens. Can't wait to hear more about that, because I know Molly is going to have a situation with, a conversation with Dro about that situation. So then she goes ahead and she calls Andrew. Another rebound. But, it's best for her. She's got to move on from this thing with Dro. Nothing good is going to come of it. I've been saying that all season. So she calls Andrew and she's like, so what's up? Is that offer still available for us to go out on a date? And on the previews, you see that they are on a date. So I want to see more about that, because I want Molly to be in a great relationship. Like, I want Molly to have everything she wants. Like I said before, I love her. Her hair was so much better this week. Yvonne Orgy, did you hear my cry? Your wig was so much better this week. I don't know what they have been doing with your hair, or I don't know what kind of protective thing you had going on under them wigs, but those couple wigs before were terrible. But Molly was back to herself, looking great, bob on point. I loved it. So can't wait to see what happens with her and Andrew. So then at the end of the episode, Issa gets a call from Lyft saying, your case is closed. Nathan called in and gave his statement, and that was that. So Issa's like, what? I've been trying to get in touch with this mofo for a couple days now, and he called y'all, but he didn't call me. So she's flicking back through her text messages. Now, y'all, I just need y'all to tell me, did she see something in the text messages? Like, did he text her? I rewinded the TV, rewound it. I don't know. I hit the rewind on the TV to see, did he send her a message? I couldn't tell, or if was she just looking at the old text messages? I don't know. Anyway, that's how the episode ended. And we see the previews of her trying to get Molly to find Nathan through Andrew. So, yeah, more shenanigans from Issa and the crew next week. We only have 2 more episodes of Insecure left. Please like my channel. I'm trying to get my subscribers up. I know I go missing at times, but y'all, I am a busy mom and entrepreneur. I love this part of my life because it allows me to just be crazy. It allows me to just connect. It allows me to decompress from my crazy life. This week has been particularly stressful at work this last couple of weeks. And I love doing this. I was really hesitant about reviewing TV shows because it really has nothing to do with courage, or confidence. Well, courage of getting on the camera, but I don't have any fear of getting behind or in front of the camera. But I was kind of hesitant about adding this segment to my channel because I'm like, I don't know. It has nothing to do with my curvy brand, but it has everything to do with me sharing a little bit of myself, my humor, my wit, my personality with you all, my viewing audience. So share my videos. So once Insecure is over, I don't know if I will review any more shows. I do know that it's a lot to review shows. You gotta watch the show. You gotta watch the show. Well, this is what I do. So I watch the show, and then I rewatch it, and I take notes, and then sometimes I'll even watch it again. So that's 3 times that I've watched a show. I don't even have that kind of time on my hands. So you know that I enjoy doing this. So Spike Lee's She's Gotta Have It, I think it's going to be coming back soon on Netflix. I might review that. I don't know if that's a 30-minute or hour show. We'll see. We'll see. And I do this because I am, I'm always, I want to get to a place where I don't have to work my 9 to 5 anymore. I want to get to a place where I don't have to do things that don't bring me complete joy and happiness. Reviewing TV shows, being on YouTube, pouring myself out, getting on live on Facebook, showing my fabulous paparazzi jewelry, connecting with women through fitness and health and wellness. Those are the things that bring me absolute joy. I do love my career as a nurse, of course. I'm always going to be a nurse, but I just don't know at what capacity I'm going to be a nurse. Like, I want to be able to write my own ticket and schedule my own hours. I want to work when I want to work. Like, I'm always going to work as a nurse. I know I got away from the topic of reviewing Insecure. The review is done. Hopefully you stayed for this part. But I do thank you guys for watching. My viewership and subscribership grew slowly from 0 to 62. That is a small number in the YouTube world, but I appreciate everyone who has ever subscribed to my channel or watched one of my vlogs, one of these videos, one of my health and beauty. You guys know I love doing those. Those are my absolute favorite. I need to start doing more product reviews. That'll probably get me more exposure. But yeah, please come back and watch my review for the last 2 episodes of Insecure. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and please continue to be your best, beautiful, healthy self. Alrighty, so until we talk again, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.